The crystal chandelier trembles, not from wind, not from music, but from the weight of a lie about to shatter. Olivia's hand freezes mid-pour, the vintage wine hovering over a glass that costs more than her monthly rent. Her eyes lock onto the man in the corner booth. Disheveled coat, worn boots, hands calloused and scarred. But those eyes, those dark, haunted eyes framed by black hair, they don't belong to someone who's broken. They belong to someone who's hiding. Table 7 needs refills, her manager hisses, snapping her back. But she can't look away, because she's seen him before. Not here, not in person. On the cover of Forbes magazine 3 years ago, before he vanished from public life. Christopher Ashford, the tech billionaire who lost everything in a scandal that destroyed his company, his reputation, his soul, and now he's here, dressed like a drifter, eating stale bread, watching the wealthy elite around him with an expression that makes her chest ache. Contempt mixed with longing, pride wrapped in shame, her heart pounds. She shouldn't care. She's seen hundreds of faces in this restaurant. Powerful men who never see her as anything more than invisible hands that serve their food. But Christopher? He looked at her. Really looked at her when she brought him water. Like she was a person. Like she mattered. That's when she notices it. The slight tremor in his fingers. The way his jaw clenches when the couple at table 3 laughs too loudly about their yacht purchase. The newspaper folded beside his plate, open to the business section where his name appears in an article titled, "Fallen Giants. Where are they now?" Olivia knows what rock bottom looks like. She's lived there. And she recognizes the specific kind of drowning that happens when you're surrounded by reminders of who you used to be. Her hand moves before her brain catches up. She grabs a napkin, a pen, and she writes 4 words that will change 2 lives forever. But what she doesn't know, what she can't know, is that Christopher Ashford isn't here by accident. He's here on a mission, and that mission involves the very restaurant where she works, the wealthy patrons she serves, and a revenge plot 18 months in the making. The napkin sits in her apron pocket, waiting, the words burning through fabric like a fuse. In 90 seconds, she'll slip it onto his table. In 2 minutes, he'll read it. And in 3 minutes, everything they thought they knew about betrayal, redemption, and second chances will explode into something neither of them can control. The chandelier trembles again. This time, Olivia feels it in her bones. 5 minutes earlier, Olivia. "You're daydreaming again." Patricia, the head hostess, snaps her fingers in front of Olivia's face. The Grandeur restaurant bustles with Friday night energy. Silk dresses, designer suits, the soft classical music barely audible over the symphony of self-importance. "Sorry, Olivia adjusts her black apron, tucking a strand of auburn hair behind her ear. Table 7 just sat. "New customer, looks rough." Patricia wrinkles her nose. Gerald almost didn't let him in, but apparently he showed cash up front. "Still keep an eye on him. We don't need trouble." Olivia glances toward the corner booth. And that's when she sees him for the first time tonight. Christopher Ashford sits with his back against the wall, a habit from his former life when business enemies were real and threats were constant. His black hair, longer than it was in the photos, falls across his forehead. The designer stubble has grown into a full beard. The custom suits have been replaced by a thrift store coat with a torn pocket. But the eyes, God, those eyes, storm gray and sharp. Eyes that have built empires and watched them burn. Olivia picks up a water pitcher and heads toward table 7. Her pulse quickens with each step, though she couldn't explain why if someone asked. "Good evening," she says softly. "Welcome to the Grandeur. Can I start you off with something to drink?" Christopher looks up, and for just a moment his carefully constructed mask slips. He wasn't expecting kindness in her voice. He wasn't expecting her to smile at him like he deserves to be here. "Water's fine," he says, his voice rough from disuse. "Of course." She pours, noticing the small things. The expensive watch hidden under his frayed sleeve. The posture of someone trained in boardrooms. The way his eyes calculate and assess everything, including her. "Our special tonight is just bread," he interrupts. "And the cheapest thing on your menu." That would be the soup. Tomato basil. Perfect, Olivia should walk away. But something roots her to the spot. "You sure?" "The pot roast is really good. I said the soup." His tone sharpens, defensive. Then he seems to catch himself. "Please," she nods. And as she turns to leave, she hears him whisper something under his breath. Something that sounds like, "Not yet." Olivia places the order ticket on the kitchen carousel, but her mind stays at table 7. She's served thousands of customers in her 4 years at the Grandeur. She's learned to read people, the nervous first daters who can't stop fidgeting, the business deal makers with their predatory smiles, the married men with women who aren't their wives, always requesting corner tables. But Christopher Ashford? He's different. He's not pretending to belong. He's pretending not to belong. Earth to live. Jamie, the sous chef, waves through the service window. "Your soup's up." "What's with mystery man in the corner?" Patricia says he looks like trouble. "He looks like someone who's had enough trouble for one lifetime," Olivia mutters, grabbing the steaming bowl. She weaves through the Friday night crowd. Table 3, the yacht couple arguing about which Caribbean island to visit. Table 5, 4 men in navy suits discussing a merger that will cost 300 jobs. Table 9, an elderly woman dining alone, still setting a place for a husband who died 2 years ago. Olivia sees all of them. The loneliness dressed up as success. The desperation hidden behind designer labels. When she reaches table 7, Christopher is staring at a photograph, worn at the edges, quickly tucked into his coat pocket when he senses her approach. "Tomato basil soup," she announces, setting it down gently. "Fresh bread on the side?" "Careful, the bowl's hot." "Thank you." His voice softer now, almost broken. Olivia should walk away. She has 6 other tables, tips to earn, bills to pay, a student loan debt that grows faster than she can shrink it. But instead, the pot roast really is better. If money's tight, I could... It's not about the money. Christopher's eyes snap to hers, and for a second, she sees past the disguise, past the beard and the worn clothes. She sees rage, grief, calculation. It's about discipline, remembering what hunger feels like, what it means to have nothing. The words hang between them, heavy with meaning. "I understand that more than you'd think," Olivia says quietly. Christopher studies her face, and something shifts in his expression. "Maybe you do." Before she can respond, a booming laugh erupts from table 12. Vincent Carlyle, real estate mogul, holds court with 5 other men, all in custom suits that cost more than her car, all radiating the kind of power that comes from never being told no. She feels Christopher tense, watches his hands curl into fists on the table, the soup forgotten, his entire body rigid with an emotion so intense it makes the air feel electric. "Do you know him?" she asks, following his gaze. "I used to," 2 words. Loaded like a gun, Vincent Carlyle throws his head back, laughing at his own joke. His companions join in, automatic laughter of people who know their bonuses depend on it. One of them, a younger man with slicked-back blonde hair, raises his glass in a toast. "To the Grandeur deal. 6 months from now, this place will be ours. New management, new staff, new everything." Olivia's blood runs cold. She's heard rumors, whispers in the break room about the restaurant being sold, about all of them being replaced by cheaper labor. But hearing it confirmed casually, like their livelihoods are just another line item, she looks at Christopher, his jaw clenched tight, muscle jumping, eyes fixed on Vincent Carlyle with frightening intensity. Pieces start clicking together. The disguise, the calculated poverty, the way he's watching these men like a hunter watching prey. "You're not here for the food," she whispers. "You're here for them." Christopher's eyes cut to her, sharp and assessing. For a long moment, silence. Then, "Sometimes the best revenge is served in the same room where you were betrayed. They don't recognize me. They think I'm nobody, just another failure who couldn't hack it in their world. And that's exactly what I need them to think." "Why?" The word escapes before she can stop it. But Christopher just picks up his spoon, conversation over. "Your other tables are waiting. And trust me, Olivia, you don't want to be involved in what's coming." He knew her name. She never told him her name. Olivia backs away, heart hammering. 3 steps, then she stops, turns back. Christopher pulls out that worn photograph again. From her angle, she can just barely see it. A little girl, maybe 7 or 8, dark curls and a gap-toothed smile, holding a sign that says "Best Daddy Ever," dated 3 years ago, right before Christopher Ashford disappeared from public life, right before his company collapsed. This isn't just about revenge. This is about someone taken from him. Olivia's hand moves to her apron pocket, finds the pen she always carries, grabs a clean napkin from her serving tray. She writes 4 words fast, before she can talk herself out of it. I see you. Oh. Olivia's fingers tremble as she folds the napkin. Small, precise, a secret compressed into a square of white linen. She tucks it under the breadbasket on her serving tray, hidden beneath the cloth covering, and forces herself to breathe normally. What is she doing? She doesn't know this man, doesn't owe him anything. He's clearly here for reasons that have nothing to do with her, involved in something dangerous, something that ended with a little girl's picture and 3 years of hiding. But those eyes, God, those eyes looked at her like she was real, like she mattered. In 4 years of serving the wealthy and powerful, no one has ever looked at her that way. Olivia. Patricia's sharp voice cuts through her thoughts. Table 4 needs their check, and Mr. Whitmore at table 6 is asking for you specifically. He wants to compliment your service. The hostess's tone makes it clear what kind of compliment a 60-year-old married man wants to give a 28-year-old waitress. I'll be right there, Olivia says, but her feet carry her toward table 7 first. Christopher hasn't touched his soup. He's watching Vincent Carlisle's table with an intensity that makes her skin prickle. Whatever history exists between them, it's written in blood and betrayal. Refill on your water? She asks, her voice steadier than her hands. He doesn't look at her. I'm fine. The bread's getting cold. Let me bring you fresh. She reaches for the basket and in one smooth motion, slides the folded napkin onto his placemat, covering it with the bread plate. Her heart hammers so loud she's certain everyone in the restaurant can hear it. Christopher's hand freezes halfway to his water glass. His eyes drop to the napkin, then slowly they rise to meet hers. For 3 seconds, the entire restaurant disappears. It's just them, just this moment. Just the question hanging in the air between them. Why would you do this? Olivia doesn't have an answer. Not one that makes sense. So she just holds his gaze, lets him see that she means it. Whatever he's planning, whatever darkness he's walking into, he doesn't have to do it completely alone. Your soup will get cold, she whispers, and walks away before her courage fails. She makes it to table 4, processes their credit card, smiles at Mr. Whitmore's inappropriate comment about her eyes, and pockets his generous tip with practiced grace. Refills wine glasses at table 8, clears plates from table 2. Normal, routine. Except nothing feels normal anymore. Every time she glances toward table 7, Christopher is reading that napkin. 4 words. 4 simple words that have somehow become the most complicated thing she's ever written. 20 minutes later, Olivia is in the kitchen loading dirty dishes when she feels it. That prickle at the back of her neck that means someone is watching. She turns to find Christopher standing in the service corridor, the narrow hallway between the dining room and the kitchen that only staff use. You're not supposed to be back here, she says automatically. I know. He steps closer, and in the harsh fluorescent light she can see him more clearly. The expensive bone structure beneath the beard, the quality of the watch he forgot to remove, the posture of a man who once commanded boardrooms. Why did you do that? Do what? Don't. His voice is low, urgent. Don't pretend you don't know what I'm talking about. That note, why? Olivia sets down the plates, buying time. Because you looked like someone who needed to know they weren't invisible. That someone saw them. Really saw them. You don't know anything about me. I know you're here for revenge. I know those men at table 12 destroyed something you loved. I know you have a daughter who thinks you're the best daddy ever, and I know you haven't seen her in 3 years. She watches his face pale. And I know that whatever you're planning, it's eating you alive from the inside out. Christopher's jaw clenches. You're wrong about one thing. That girl in the picture? She doesn't think I'm the best daddy anymore. She thinks I abandoned her. She thinks I chose my pride over being her father. And she's not wrong. The pain in his voice is so raw it makes Olivia's chest ache. Then why are you here? Why not go to her? Why waste time on revenge when you could be rebuilding? Because Vincent Carlisle made sure I can't. The words explode out of him, decades of rage compressed into a single sentence. He catches himself, lowers his voice. 3 years ago, Vincent and I were partners. Best friends since college. I trusted him with everything. My company, my reputation, my family's future. And he systematically destroyed all of it, embezzled millions, framed me for it. And when the FBI came knocking, he had documentation that made me look guilty of everything he'd done. Olivia's breath catches. The scandal, the trial, that was all Vincent, but I couldn't prove it. Lost everything trying. My wife took my daughter and disappeared. Protective custody, they called it. Witness protection from the dangerous criminal I'd supposedly become. I haven't seen Emma in 3 years, 2 months, and 16 days. Can't even call her. Can't send a letter. Nothing. Until I clear my name, she thinks her father is a monster. The corridor suddenly feels too small, too intimate. Olivia can see the moisture gathering in Christopher's storm-gray eyes, can see the way his hands shake with suppressed emotion. And being here tonight? She whispers. How does that help? Christopher's expression shifts. The grief hardens back into calculation, because Vincent is buying the grandeur as a front. He's laundering money through restaurant acquisitions, has been for years. I've spent 18 months gathering proof, following the paper trail, building a case that even the FBI can't ignore. Tonight he's meeting with his partners to finalize the deal, and I'm recording every word. He pulls aside his coat just enough for Olivia to see it. A small device, sophisticated, definitely not legal, pinned to the inside of his shirt. If I can get evidence of his criminal activity, real evidence, I can reopen my case, clear my name, get my daughter back. His voice cracks on the last word. Get my life back. Olivia stares at the recording device, then at Christopher's face. At the desperate hope warring with resignation in his eyes. And if they catch you? She asks. Then I lose everything all over again. But at least I'll know I tried. Olivia's mind races. This is insane. This is illegal. This could destroy both of them. She should walk away right now. Go back to her tables, pretend this conversation never happened. But she doesn't move. How long have you been recording? She asks instead. 43 minutes. Vincent's getting drunk and drunk men get careless. I need maybe another hour. Christopher's eyes search her face. Why are you still standing here? Because you have a problem. Olivia glances toward the dining room. Gerald, the floor manager. He's been watching you. In 15 minutes, he's going to suggest you've finished your soup and should settle your bill. Polite but firm, and your recording ends. Christopher's expression darkens. Then I'll order something else. With what money? You ordered the cheapest thing on the menu. You order the pot roast now, he'll know something's off. Men dressed like you don't linger in places like this. You stand out. She watches the hope drain from his face. 3 years of planning, 18 months of investigation, failing because of a suspicious floor manager. Unless, Olivia hears herself say it before thinking it through. Unless you're not alone. Christopher's eyes snap to hers. What are you suggesting? A couple having dinner looks less suspicious than a homeless man nursing soup for 2 hours. Her heart pounds. I get off in 20 minutes. I could join you. Make it look like a date. Order food, wine. Buy you the time you need. No, absolutely not. This is my fight, my risk. I won't drag you into, you already did. The moment you sat at my table, the moment I saw your daughter's picture. Olivia steps closer. Besides, Vincent's buying this restaurant. In 6 months, I'm unemployed. My coworkers, people I care about, all gone. So maybe your revenge helps more people than just you. Christopher studies her, and she sees the moment he understands. She's not offering out of pity. She's offering because she's angry too, tired of powerful men destroying ordinary lives without consequence. This could go very wrong, he says quietly. Most things worth doing usually can. Olivia straightens her apron. 20 minutes. I'll clock out, change clothes, come back as a customer. You just try not to look so much like you're planning a felony. She turns to leave, but his hand catches her wrist. Gentle, warm, electric. Why? He asks one more time. Really, why? Olivia looks at his hand, then into those storm-gray eyes that still hold a flicker of hope. Because someone should have seen you 3 years ago. Someone should have believed you, and maybe if they had, you wouldn't have lost 3 years with your daughter. She pulls free, her skin tingling. Consider this my small attempt at cosmic balance. Before he can respond, she's gone, slipping back into the dining room. But everything has changed. In 20 minutes, she'll cross a line she can never uncross. And somewhere deep in her chest, beneath the fear and adrenaline, she feels something she hasn't felt in years. Alive. The staff bathroom is cramped and smells like industrial cleaner and desperation. Olivia stares at her reflection in the spotted mirror, barely recognizing the woman looking back at her. 28 years old. Associate's degree in business she can't afford to finish. 4 years serving people who don't remember her name. This is not the life she imagined when she was 17 and full of dreams. But tonight she's choosing something different. Her hands shake as she unbuttons her work shirt, replaces it with the simple black dress she keeps in her locker for emergencies. Emergency dates that never happen. Emergency interviews for better jobs that never call back. Emergency moments when she needs to remember she's more than just a waitress. She lets her auburn hair down from its practical ponytail, applies the lipstick she bought 3 months ago and never wore. Looks at herself one more time. Not a waitress anymore. Just a woman, just Olivia. Her phone buzzes. A text from her roommate asking if she'll be home for their weekly Netflix night. Olivia types back a lie about covering an extra shift, and the guilt sits heavy in her stomach. But this isn't about her roommate. This isn't even really about Christopher Ashford and his revenge plot. This is about choosing. For once in her life, choosing something that matters instead of just surviving another shift, another bill, another day of being invisible. She takes a deep breath and walks out. The dining room looks different from the customer's perspective. Brighter, more intimidating. Patricia at the hostess stand does a double take when she sees Olivia approaching in civilian clothes. Liv? What are you doing? Your shift doesn't end for another. Patricia checks her watch, confused. Just clocked out early. Jenny's covering my tables. Olivia's voice is steadier than she feels. I'm actually meeting someone. Table 7? Patricia's perfectly shaped eyebrows shoot up. The homeless guy? Olivia, seriously? You can do so much better than... He's not homeless. And I didn't ask for your opinion. The words come out sharper than intended. But Olivia doesn't apologize. She's done apologizing for her choices to people who've never had to make hard ones. She walks past Patricia, ignoring the hostess's disapproving stare, and makes her way toward table 7. Every step feels surreal. Customers glance at her differently now. Without the uniform, she's not invisible anymore. She's just another person in their world, not someone who serves it. Christopher sees her coming and something flickers across his face. Surprise, relief, and something else she can't quite name. He's removed his worn coat, revealing a shirt that might have been expensive once, though now it's faded and frayed at the collar. He's tried to smooth his black hair, though it still falls rebelliously across his forehead. He stands when she reaches the table. Old-fashioned manners from a life he used to live. You came, he says simply. I said I would. Olivia slides into the booth across from him, hyper-aware of how different this feels, how intimate. Did you think I wouldn't? I thought maybe you'd come to your senses. His storm gray eyes search her face. There's still time to walk away, I would understand. Stop trying to give me an exit. I'm here, I'm committed. She picks up the menu, mostly for show. She knows every item by heart. Now, we need to make this look real. Gerald's already watching. So is Patricia. We're on a date. Act like it. Christopher blinks, caught off guard by her directness. Then slowly, a smile tugs at the corner of his mouth. Not the bitter, broken expression from earlier. Something almost genuine. Bossy, I like it. Someone has to be in charge, and you look like you're about to throw up from nerves. Olivia keeps her voice low, her eyes on the menu. Vincent's table is 3 o'clock from your position. Are they still talking business? Yes. They're discussing property valuations, shell companies, offshore accounts. It's all coded. But it's there. I just need more. He leans forward slightly, and she catches the scent of him. Not cologne. Just soap and something underneath that's purely him. How do we make this look convincing? Well, for starters, you could try looking at me like you're interested in more than just my tactical advantages. Olivia sets down the menu and meets his eyes. People on dates make eye contact. They smile. They pretend the rest of the world doesn't exist for a little while. Christopher holds her gaze, and the intensity in his eyes makes her breath catch. What if I'm not pretending? The question hangs between them, dangerous and electric. This was supposed to be tactical, strategic, a means to an end. But the way he's looking at her now, like she's the only real thing in a room full of ghosts, makes her chest tighten with something she definitely wasn't prepared for. Before she can respond, Gerald appears at their table. Perfectly timed, perfectly dangerous. "Good evening," the floor manager says, his tone professional but his eyes suspicious. "Is everything satisfactory?" Christopher tenses, but Olivia's hand shoots across the table, covering his. The touch is electric, immediate, and completely calculated. "Everything's perfect," she says, injecting warmth into her voice. "My boyfriend was just telling me about his day. Christopher, honey, should we order that wine you mentioned?" She watches Gerald's expression shift, watches him reassess. A couple. Young. Obviously attracted to each other. Nothing suspicious about that. Just another Friday night romance in an elegant restaurant. "Of course," Gerald says, his suspicion fading. "I'll send your server right over." He walks away, and Olivia realizes she's still holding Christopher's hand. His skin is warm, scarred, real. She should let go, the danger's past, but neither of them moves. "Boyfriend?" Christopher says quietly, a hint of amusement in his voice. "I had to sell it." Olivia's heart races. Besides, the homeless guy I just met 2 hours ago doesn't have quite the same ring. Christopher's thumb brushes across her knuckles, gentle, deliberate. "Thank you for this, for believing me when no one else would." And there it is. The truth beneath the revenge plot and the recording device and the 3 years of pain. He's just a man who lost everything and has been fighting alone for so long, he forgot what it felt like to have someone on his side. "Don't thank me yet," Olivia says softly. "We still have to pull this off." Jenny appears at their table, eyes wide with curiosity. "Liv? Oh my God, I didn't know you were. Can I get you guys something to drink?" Olivia feels Christopher's hand tighten around hers. She squeezes back, reassuring. "We'll take a bottle of the house red and 2 pot roast specials." The pot roast? Jenny's surprise is genuine. That's the most expensive entree on the menu. "It's a special occasion," Olivia says. The lie tastes less bitter than expected. Because somehow, sitting here with Christopher's hand in hers, it doesn't feel entirely like a lie. Jenny leaves, clearly dying to ask questions. The moment she's gone, Christopher leans closer. "That's $80. Olivia, I can't let you. It's my money. My choice." She keeps her voice low. "Besides, we need to look legitimate. How's the recording?" "Good." They're getting louder, more careless. "Vincent just mentioned a property in the Caymans. Acquisition date. Amount. If I can get him to say how he's moving the money, I have him." Olivia follows his gaze. Vincent Carlyle is red-faced now, gesturing with his wine glass, clearly drunk on expensive scotch and his own power. The men around him laugh at everything he says. Looking at him now, understanding what he did to Christopher, to Emma, anger burns hot in her chest. "Tell me about your daughter," she says suddenly. Christopher's expression fractures. "Why?" "Because you're sitting here recording the man who stole her from you, and you look like you're about to shatter. Tell me something good. Tell me who you're fighting for." He's silent then. "She loves pancakes, blueberry specifically. Every Sunday morning I'd make them shaped like animals. Terrible animals. She'd laugh and tell me they looked like clouds with legs." His voice cracks. "She wanted to be a veterinarian. Had this whole plan to open a clinic that only treated rescue animals. She was 7 years old and already kinder than most adults I'd ever met." "She sounds amazing. She is. 3 years is forever when you're a kid. She's 10 now. Probably doesn't remember the pancakes. Probably doesn't want to." Olivia squeezes his hand. "Kids don't forget their fathers, trust me. My dad walked out when I was 6, and I still remember everything. She remembers Christopher. And when you clear your name, when you get her back, those memories will help her understand. What if it's too late? What if she hates me? Then you spend the rest of your life proving you're worth forgiving. She meets his eyes. But you can't do that from here. You clear your name tonight, and tomorrow you start building the bridge back to her. Christopher stares at her like she just handed him something he'd forgotten existed. Hope. Real, tangible hope. The wine arrives. Jenny pours with exaggerated care. Olivia raises her glass. To second chances. Christopher lifts his glass, eyes locked on hers. To people who see you when everyone else looks away. They drink, and across the restaurant, Vincent Carlisle's laugh echoes. Loud, arrogant, unaware that his empire is being dismantled one recorded word at a time. The game is on. And for the first time in 3 years, Christopher Ashford isn't playing alone. The pot roast arrives, perfectly plated, steam rising from the tender meat and roasted vegetables. Olivia can't remember the last time she ordered something this expensive for herself. Can't remember the last time she sat on this side of the table, being served instead of serving. But she's not thinking about the food. She's thinking about the way Christopher keeps glancing toward Vincent's table with an intensity that borders on obsession. She's thinking about the recording device hidden under his shirt, capturing every incriminating word. She's thinking about how in the span of 2 hours her entire life has pivoted toward this moment. You need to eat, she says softly. We're supposed to be on a date, remember? Couples eat. They don't just sit here staring at business executives. Christopher blinks, refocusing on her. Right, sorry, I've waited 3 years for this. Every word he says is one step closer to getting Emma back. I know. But if you keep staring like that, Gerald's going to notice. Vincent's going to notice. Olivia cuts into her pot roast, the motion deliberately casual. So eat, talk to me. Make this real. He picks up his fork, but his hand trembles slightly, the weight of everything pressing down on him. I don't know how to do this anymore. The small talk, the pretending everything's normal. It's been so long since I was just a person. Then don't pretend, Olivia meets his eyes. Just be honest. Tell me something true. Christopher sets down his fork, and when he speaks, his voice is raw. I'm terrified. Not of getting caught. Not of Vincent or the FBI or any of it. I'm terrified that even if this works, even if I clear my name, Emma won't want me back. That I've become someone she can't recognize. That the man who made pancakes and tucked her in at night is gone, and all that's left is this. This broken thing obsessed with revenge. The vulnerability in his words hits Olivia like a physical blow. She reaches across the table, takes his hand again. You're not broken. You're fighting. There's a difference. Is there? His storm gray eyes search hers. Because right now, sitting here with you, I feel more human than I have in 3 years. And that terrifies me too. Because when this is over, when you go back to your life and I go back to mine, this moment disappears. You disappear. And I don't know if I can handle losing someone else who actually sees me. The words hang between them, heavy with meaning neither of them expected. This was supposed to be tactical, a performance. But somewhere between the wine and the confession, and the way he's looking at her like she's the only solid thing in his collapsing world, it became something else entirely. Olivia opens her mouth to respond, but movement catches her eye. Vincent Carlisle is standing, slightly unsteady from alcohol, his voice carrying across the restaurant. Gentlemen, let's move this conversation somewhere more private. My car is outside. We can finalize the contracts there, away from prying ears. Christopher's entire body goes rigid. No, 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 no. If they leave, I lose everything. The recording's not enough without the contract details, without the final admission of how the money moves through the grandeur purchase. Olivia's mind races. Vincent's table is already standing, gathering coats, preparing to leave. In 60 seconds, they'll be gone. 3 years of Christopher's life reduced to an incomplete recording that proves nothing. Then stop them, she says. How? I can't just walk over there. They'll recognize me, or worse, they'll not you. Olivia stands, smoothing her dress. Christopher's eyes widen. Olivia, no. This is already too dangerous. I won't let you don't get to let me do anything. This is my choice. She's already moving, her heart pounding, but her steps steady. I worked here for 4 years. I know these men. I know how to handle them. She crosses the dining room with purpose, intercepting Vincent's group just as they reach the entrance. Gerald is already there, offering to call their cars. But Olivia slides in smoothly, her waitress instincts taking over even though she's not in uniform. "Mr. Carlyle," she says, her voice warm and deferential. "I'm so sorry to interrupt, but there's been a small issue with your bill. A discrepancy with the wine charges. It'll just take a moment to sort out. If you could return to your table." Vincent turns, his eyes slightly unfocused from alcohol, clearly annoyed. "A discrepancy? I've been coming here for 15 years. There's never been a—" "I understand, sir, and I apologize profusely. It's just that our system flagged a potential overcharge, and we want to make absolutely certain you weren't billed incorrectly. You know how Mr. Morrison is about maintaining the Granger's reputation." She drops the owner's name deliberately, knowing Vincent's business relationship with him. "It'll take 5 minutes, tops. We can bring you another round of drinks while we sort it out. Complimentary, of course." Vincent exchanges glances with his associates. The younger man with slicked blonde hair checks his watch. "Vincent, we really should—" "5 minutes," Vincent cuts him off. The word complimentary and the mention of the owner's name have done their work. "But I want top-shelf scotch. None of that house garbage." "Of course, Mr. Carlyle." Olivia steps aside, gesturing back toward their table. "Right this way." As Vincent's group returns to table 12, Olivia catches Christopher's eye across the restaurant. He's staring at her with an expression that's equal parts terror and awe. She gives him the smallest nod. 5 minutes. Maybe 10 if she can stretch it. Enough time for Vincent to get comfortable again, to keep talking, to say whatever Christopher needs him to say. She heads toward the bar to place the drink order, her hands shaking now that the performance is over. What has she just done? She's bought them time, yes, but she's also inserted herself directly into this mess. If Vincent figures out there was no billing discrepancy, if Gerald questions her authority to make decisions about customer bills when she's not even on shift. But then she glances back at Christopher. At the way he's watching Vincent's table with renewed focus. At the recording device still capturing every word. At the hope in his eyes that wasn't there an hour ago. And she realizes she'd do it again. She'd do it 100 times if it meant this broken man gets his daughter back. If it means these arrogant men face consequences for once. If it means choosing something that matters instead of just surviving another day. The bartender looks at her questioningly. "Top-shelf scotch for table 12, she says with more confidence than she feels. "And keep it coming until I say stop." 10 minutes stretch into 15. Vincent and his associates settle back into their rhythm, the scotch loosening their tongues. Olivia stands near the bar, close enough to monitor, her pulse racing with every passing second. Christopher remains at table 7, his untouched pot roast growing cold, his entire focus on the men across the room. This is it. The moment 3 years have been building toward. Gerald approaches, suspicious. "Olivia, what's going on?" "I don't see anything flagged about a billing issue." Her mind goes blank, then, "It was my mistake. I thought I saw a duplicate charge, but I was looking at the wrong table. We'll sort it now. You're not even on shift." "Why are you handling this?" "Because I know Mr. Carlyle. I've served him dozens of times." The lie flows smoothly. "You know how important he is to Mr. Morrison." Gerald's suspicion fades. "Fine, but let current staff handle it next time." He walks away. Olivia releases a breath she didn't know she was holding. Across the room, Vincent's voice rises. "The beauty of the Granger deal is nobody questions a restaurant changing hands. We run the money through, clean it with legitimate food sales, and 6 months later, it's untraceable. Morrison thinks he's selling to a restaurateur. Everyone's happy." Christopher's hand moves to his chest, ensuring the device is recording. That's it. That's the confession. But Vincent lowers his voice and Christopher shifts, straining to hear. "He's too far. The recording might not pick up what comes next." Olivia doesn't think. She grabs water glasses and walks toward table 12. Professional, casual. "Gentlemen, some water while you wait?" She sets glasses down, lingering just long enough. Vincent barely glances. "Whatever. Just make it quick," the blonde associate continues. "So the offshore accounts are ready? Once the purchase goes through, funds transfer to the Cayman property, then back through the restaurant's account?" Exactly. Morrison signs next Tuesday. By Wednesday, first transfer happens. Clean, simple, untraceable. Vincent picks up his scotch. And Ashford? That idiot is still hiding somewhere, broken. Never even knew what hit him. Christopher's name feels like a detonation. Olivia forces herself to keep moving, not react. But inside, she's burning with rage at the casual cruelty. She glances toward Christopher, his face pale but his eyes alert. He heard everything. As she turns, the blonde man catches her wrist. Hey, you look familiar. You were here earlier in uniform. Now you're in a dress serving water. What's going on? Her heart stops. I used to work here. Just visiting tonight. Visiting who? His grip tightens. Christopher appears, hand on her shoulder. She's with me. We were having dinner when her manager asked her to help. The blonde man sees only a shabby-dressed nobody. Not a threat. Whatever. Stay away from our table, he releases her. Christopher guides her back, hand shaking. That was too close. Did it record? Every word. The offshore accounts. The timeline. The admission about framing me, everything. Tears threaten his eyes. You just gave me my life back. Vincent's table finally settles their bill 20 minutes later. Olivia watches as they stand, adjusting expensive coats, laughing. Completely oblivious that their entire criminal enterprise was just recorded. Christopher sits motionless at table 7, the device still hidden under his shirt, hands gripped so tight his knuckles are white. He hasn't moved since Olivia returned, just stared at Vincent with an expression equal parts vindication and devastation. Christopher, Olivia whispers. They're leaving. It's over. You got what you needed. 3 years. His voice hoarse, broken. 3 years of my daughter's life, birthdays, school plays, all gone. And he just laughs about it, like destroying my family was nothing. Vincent and his group head toward the exit. As they pass table 7, Vincent glances over, his eyes sliding past Christopher without recognition. Just another nobody. The ultimate insult. The perfect disguise. The moment they're gone, Christopher's body sags. He reaches under his shirt and carefully removes the recording device, holding it like glass, like it's the most precious thing in the world. Because it is. It's his daughter. His future, his life. I need to get this to my lawyer, tonight, right now. He stands abruptly. The FBI contact I've been working with said if I could get concrete evidence, she could reopen the case. This is it. Then go. Olivia stands too. Go get your life back. Christopher looks at her. Come with me. What? Come with me. To the lawyer's office. I can't do this alone. Not after everything you just did. Please. Olivia should say no. Should walk away before her feelings for this complicated man become something she can't take back. But she doesn't. Okay, let's go. Cold November air hits them outside the grandeur. The street busy with Friday night traffic. Christopher's hand finds hers instinctively. They walk quickly toward the subway station. Every step surreal. Every breath tasting like possibility and terror. My lawyer's office is in Midtown, Christopher says. She's working late. She knows we're coming. Does she know about me? I told her someone believed me when no one else would. He squeezes her hand. Olivia, what you did tonight, why? You barely know me. They stop at a crosswalk. Olivia turns to face him. In the streetlight glow, she sees him clearly. Not the disguise, not the broken man, just Christopher. Flawed, desperate, human, real. Because 3 years ago, when my life fell apart, when I dropped out of college and ended up serving tables just to survive, no one saw me. I became invisible, and I told myself if I ever had the chance to see someone else who was invisible, I would. She holds his gaze. So I saw you, and I couldn't unsee you. Christopher's eyes glisten. I don't deserve this. Don't deserve you. That's not for you to decide. The light changes, but neither moves. You're going to get your daughter back. You're going to clear your name. And you need to remember that not everyone is like Vincent Carlisle. Some people still believe in second chances. Is that what this is? A second chance? Olivia steps closer. I think we both got a second chance tonight. You got evidence that gives you your life back, and I remembered what it feels like to choose something that matters. Christopher's hand comes to her face, thumb brushing her cheek. When this is over, when Emma is back and everything settles, Can I see you again? Not as the man plotting revenge or the waitress helping a stranger. Just as us? Olivia's heart pounds. Ask me again when you've held your daughter. When you've made those pancakes and heard her laugh. Then ask me, why wait? Because I need to know that when you look at me, you see me. Not just the person who helped you. And you can't know that until you have Emma back. Until you're whole again. Christopher nods slowly, understanding. You're right. But he doesn't let go of her hand. They stand on a Manhattan corner, two people who met 5 hours ago and changed each other's lives forever. Come on, Olivia finally says. Your lawyer is waiting. Your daughter is waiting. Let's finish this. They descend into the subway, hand in hand, carrying a recording that will shatter Vincent Carlisle's world and rebuild Christopher Ashford's. And between them, unspoken but undeniable, is the beginning of something neither expected, something that looks a lot like hope. 6 months later, the playground is alive with children's laughter. Spring sunshine warms the park benches where parents sit watching their kids play. Olivia adjusts her sunglasses, a small smile playing on her lips as she watches the scene unfold before her. Christopher Ashford stands near the swings, looking nothing like the broken man who sat in that corner booth 6 months ago. Clean-shaven, hair trimmed, wearing jeans and a simple blue shirt. But the biggest change isn't physical. It's the light in his eyes, the peace in his posture, and the 10-year-old girl on the swing pumping her legs higher and higher. Dark curls flying behind her as she laughs. Emma. Higher, Dad. Push me higher! Christopher obliges, his laugh echoing across the playground. Pure, genuine, free. The FBI had moved quickly once they heard the recording. Vincent Carlisle was arrested within 48 hours. His associates followed. The evidence was irrefutable. Money laundering, fraud, embezzlement, and the framing of Christopher Ashford documented in Vincent's own voice. The charges against Christopher were dropped. His name cleared. His assets returned. But more importantly, Emma was returned. 3 years of separation ended with a tearful reunion that Christopher described as both the happiest and most painful moment of his life. Rebuilding took time. Therapy, patience, difficult. Conversations about why Daddy had to go away. Emma had been angry at first, confused. But slowly, day by day, they found their way back to each other, and the pancakes helped. Blueberry pancakes shaped like terrible animals. Olivia. Emma's voice pulls her from her thoughts. The girl runs over, breathless and beaming. Did you see how high I went? I saw. You're basically a superhero. Olivia grins and Emma throws her arms around her waist. Christopher approaches, his eyes meeting Olivia's over his daughter's head. There's a question there, the same question he's been asking with his eyes for weeks now. Emma pulls back. Dad, can I get ice cream? Sure, sweetheart. Get whatever you want. He hands her money and she sprints off. Christopher sits beside Olivia, close enough that their shoulders touch. She likes you. A lot. I like her too. She's amazing. Olivia, I've been waiting, being patient, rebuilding my life, being the father Emma deserves, and I'm whole enough now to ask you what I asked 6 months ago on that street corner. His storm gray eyes hold hers. Can I take you to dinner? A real dinner. Just as Christopher, a guy who makes terrible pancakes and is completely falling for a woman who saw him when he was invisible. Olivia looks at him, at this man who lost everything and fought his way back. Yes, I'd like that very much. Christopher's smile is radiant. He reaches for her hand. Emma returns with ice cream, chocolate already smeared on her chin. Dad, Olivia! Best day ever. Christopher pulls his daughter close with one arm, his other hand still holding Olivia's. Yeah, sweetheart, it really is. And Olivia knows that the note she slipped onto his table 6 months ago didn't just change his life. It changed hers too. Sometimes the bravest thing you can do is see someone. Really see them. Hey there. If Christopher and Olivia's journey touched your heart, thank you for watching. Now we need your help to keep creating these powerful stories. Hit subscribe. Don't miss our next incredible story. Click that button now and join our community. Smash the like button. Did this story move you? Show us by hitting like. It helps us reach more people who need these stories of hope and redemption. Activate the bell. Click that notification bell and select all so you're first to see every new story we drop. Take control of your notifications. Drop a comment. This is crucial. Tell us, what did you think of this journey? Which moment hit you hardest? What would you have done as Olivia? Did the ending satisfy you? Your comments fuel our creativity and help the algorithm share this video with others who need it. We read every comment. Bonus, share this video. Know someone who needs hope or loves emotional stories? Share it with them. Every subscribe, like, comment, and share makes a massive difference. You're supporting storytelling that matters. Stories that remind us to really see people and never give up hope. See you in the next story.